Iranians now are not providing missiles to Russia for attacks against us and some other weapon. This is what we see also. About our side, we've got some messages how to help people, how to help civilians in the Middle East, and also how to help American soldiers who are in the bases in some countries. And we said that we will send experts and we will provide everything they need to save them.
I have a question for both of you concerning the war in the Middle East and the impact it has on Ukraine. First of all, Prime Minister, did you discuss the impact it can have on weapon deliveries, especially when it comes to the Patriot systems, of course, and what role the Netherlands can play in that regard? Mr. President, you're offering your help to take down Iranian shaheeds in Iran. In the meantime, we hear President Trump continue to criticize support for Ukraine, criticize you. Do you still believe that you can actually change Washington's policy in this regard?
Shall I start?
Yeah, please.
Yes, thank you. Yes, of course, we've discussed the impact of the war in the Middle East on the Russian aggression's war in Ukraine, and it underlines the importance for all the allies and partners of Ukraine to continue the military support, that we not be distracted too much by the war in the Middle East, because while the war on Iran is ongoing, the Russian attacks on Ukraine are also ongoing. And it is crucial that we have enough delivery of weapons and ammunition to the Ukrainian armed forces so that they can continue to protect the Ukrainian people and make advances on the battlefields as much as possible. So not only here in my conversation with the President, but also during my talks last week in Brussels and all the talks to come in the coming days and weeks with our European allies, we will see what we can do to coordinate, work closely together, but also to call upon our partners in the Middle East, because I strongly believe that the partners in the Middle East can learn a lot from the Ukrainian experience, but perhaps can also provide Ukraine with some necessary ammunitions that are not effective in the Middle East attacks, but could be effective here on the battlefield.
Thanks so much. So first of all, Russia helps now Iranians and Iranian regime. We understand what they gave them already. We saw from intelligence some details. Today I shared it with Rob and some details from Shaheeds. We understand what they gave exactly to them. I don't know what volume they will be ready to give, but the good thing that I think that Iranians now are not providing missiles to Russia for attacks against us and some other weapon. This is what we see also. About our side, we've got some messages how to help people, how to help civilians in the Middle East, and also how to help American soldiers who are in the bases in some countries. And we said that we will send experts and we will provide everything they need to save them. Yes, and how it works with the situation, what you said at the end, that we are trying to help, and sometimes President Trump is criticizing me. So my attitude is next. If you will see that criticizing is increasing, it means that we are helping more and more. I think this is the priority, to help people. Other things are not so important.
Prime Minister, Ukraine wants to become a member of the European Union. Is it realistic that it will happen anytime soon? And Mr. President, is it realistic at all as long as you are in an open fight with the Hungarian Prime Minister Orbán? And if I may, one question about the war in the Middle East. If it goes on for a long time, are you worried that people will forget about the war that is going on here in this country?
It is crystal clear to the Netherlands that the future of Ukraine lies in Europe. It is part of the European family and should become a member of the EU in the end. It is important that Ukraine continues the work on reforms. That is what we discussed, and it is I'm impressed by the work that has already been done over the past few years in times of war, also proceeding with the necessary reforms to become an EU member. And in the weeks and months to come, we will need to discuss also with all our European partners what is a realistic time frame to reach that point.
Ukraine decided to be in EU. The decision of people, of society, not of one or another man or woman. It's about society. One of the reasons why Russia really wants us to occupy it is our geopolitical decision. And this is the price, by the way, of membership. Not to everybody, God bless, but this is a price for us. We are defending our way of life, defending our families, our independence, and it's mean partially it's independent choice, geopolitical choice. That's why I think that it's not necessary to speak about one or another leader. This is a choice of Ukraine. Another part, what is important, unanimity, yes, in Europe to make a decision that Ukraine will be as quick as possible in EU, because Ukraine is a defending line for all the Europe for today. Everybody for today, and you see, even in this case, in this war in the Middle East, everybody recognizes that Ukraine has these possibilities not only to defend, to share, to help other people, just civilians. And that's why it's in interest of Europe, again, like with the choice of Ukraine, it's the choice of society, not of one person. And the same about Europe, it's a choice of all the Europe or all the EU leaders, not of one person, to have Ukraine or not. That's why we go to EU, and this is up to Europe to decide when Ukraine will be in EU. It's up to Europe to decide where to be stronger than now. Yes, of course. Yes, it's understandable. It's always people are defocusing. Yes, I'm not comparing with the wars, with the tragedies. Every war has to stop. Yes, but of course, as defocusing in any way, it's shifting focus to the Middle East. I hope that the war in Middle East will not be long. Not only about Ukraine, because of people, any losses. And this is important to end the war. But we don't see now the progress of peace negotiations in those wars. My attitude is next. If they don't have negotiated the peace during the first days or some ceasefire, I think there is a big risk of continuation in the Middle East. And in any way, it will have influence on the situation in Ukraine. Less focus, it means less support. Less support, it means less air defense. And you know what does it mean for us.